Progressive VTuber called out men, and it did not end well.
Hey, what's up guys, Rip here. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about a pretty funny situation involving a VTuber named Vex. We have briefly talked about this individual before. They are quite unhinged. A lot of the stuff they do on social media is very aggressive and hypocritical, and we're seeing that happen yet again after they made this self-described, nuanced
The only men who get offended when someone says all men are the men we're talking about. What? Why would you say all men if you're not talking about all men?
post about men, saying the only men who get offended when someone says all men are the men we're talking about, by the way. So we'll get into the rhetorical fallacy here and
What the
how
fuck?
this VTuber gets very upset when people take their logic and extend it to other intrinsic traits to make a
Yeah, like what if somebody said all women do something or all like of course like you're talking about everybody. Clarify.
generalized blanket statement about them, but of course they're going to play the victim. They essentially pick a fight against an entire gender, and when their
Holy shit, that dog has made a mess.
logic starts to fall apart and they start
He's
looking
so happy though.
unhinged, they make it a big cry fest for themselves while telling people to choke.
Oh my god. They love to do these little block lists. They let's say a retarded opinion, get backlash, create a little block list, and then turn off comments because I'm scared of what people are saying in response to what I've said.
And saying everyone is racist. Now, this
What?
individual,
What?
like I said, is pretty unhinged. They have a history of saying some pretty heinous stuff, including this all-time classic from January of this year, saying F you, F ice, F your God, F your mother for birthing you, F your father for not dumping you in a sock. Your mom should have used a coat hanger, you effing troglodyte. F off and go beat your D to your sister.
This seems like a very hinged individual. Wouldn't you agree?
Now, that last part is very strange. I don't know why this person is thinking of something like that, let alone encouraging someone to do that. Very strange. But you can see overall, they're a pretty heinous individual when it comes to the posts they make on Twitter. Now, a few days after that, they tried to change.
Imagine being this hostile, yet so scared of pushback that you're gonna block people. It's like, what? You have the balls to say such things, but you're such a coward when it comes to any type of pushback.
Their ways. They made this long-winded post saying they're going to do better and they're going to stop being so hostile towards people.
Doubt it. These people never change. They're always like this because they never have any consequences.
Online. Well, that didn't last very long. Within the next couple of weeks, there was a spurg out here where she started replying to a bunch of different people in a very short period of time, not with words, but instead with memes and pictures where she wants people to be put in their grave. She wants people to go missing. She also wants to go get a gun in response to someone criticizing her, and also said people better relax or she'll fold you while your clothes are still on, and also silence hetero, which, you know, that sort of slop we see all the time. And of course, when they are confronted with this bloodthirsty set of rhetoric, she says they're just memes. I mean, the
Just joking, only joke, only joke. It's not joke. It's not real, only joke. Fucking idiot.
intellectual dishonesty is pretty profound. I guess if you send something in a meme format, you can't be accountable for what the message is saying.
Yeah, you think you can create like a meme about killings like a president and like that's good. That's that's fucking weird. Normal people don't do that.
Ridiculous, but their hatred knows no bounds. They hate white people, despite
Of
being
course.
one, and as I always say, being a
Self-hating whites. What the fuck?
Self-hating white person is very sad. They have been completely indoctrinated by all of this nonsense to the point of hating themselves for an intrinsic trait they had no choice over. But they also clarify that you can't be racist against white people. Now, for this person who makes self-described nuanced posts, I guess they should open up the definition of racism and point to where it says there's an exception for white people. I know, very bigoted of me to say this, but I don't think anybody should be treated poorly or differently.
What the fuck, Rev? Holy shit, we should cancel Rev. That's fucked up. And how could you say that?
Because of the color of their skin and other intrinsic traits they have no control over. We should treat everyone the same. We shouldn't make exceptions to be abusive towards people based on what skin color they have. I know, very bigoted take from me, but of course they also
even Quangos
don't like men, very clearly saying they don't want to go out in public anymore because they hate men, which is also ironic for someone who hates law enforcement so much.
Honestly, maybe this person going out in public, no longer going out in public, is a good thing. Might be good for the world if they stay at home.
But also they say men aren't lonely enough. They also say they want the confidence of mediocre white men. And when people have an issue with that, they say, now that's what I call male fragility, which doesn't count because it's in a meme format. So don't get mad about that. It's in a meme format. Let me make that clear. It doesn't count. But of course, they weren't done after their history of clearly having an issue with men in a very general sense. They decided to come out with this, again, self-described nuanced post saying the only men who get offended when someone says all men are the men we're talking about, by the way.
So what she's saying is that if someone was to say all black people do a specific thing, and then some black people came out and said that's not true, or they get offended that people said all black people do a specific thing, they're the ones you're talking about? No. You said all, which means everyone that has that characteristic. So every man.
Now, of course, people in the replies will extend their logic into other categories of intrinsic traits and make generalized statements based on that. And Vex does not like when that happens, but this is a rhetorical...
Oh, maybe they didn't post it in a meme format. They should have done it in a meme format, then it would have been fine.
Fallacy that you should be aware of. It's called the Kafka trap. Okay, it's where you make a statement. You accuse someone or a group of people of something, and then if you deny that by the user's logic, you're now guilty of what they're saying. It's very, very disingenuous, and that's exactly what's happening here. And of course, if they're faced with generalized statements about other intrinsic traits, I guess they're not allowed to say anything about it, otherwise they're part of the problem by their own logic. And of course, that's exactly what happened, where one user said all blacks are violent, making...
See, Scout Collins, that is racist. How could you say that? You're supposed to put it in a nice, pretty picture with in a meme format. It needs to be a meme, otherwise it's racist.
A generalized stereotype statement extending the logic of X in this previous post, and clearly not understanding what's happening here. They reply saying, get your racist behind the F on somewhere else. And she literally did the meme. She literally did the meme. This is a consistently viral screenshot.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
That shows up all the time.
How dare you say George Floyd is bad?
And all men, I really mean all. And someone says, even George Floyd. And they go, literally, what is wrong with you? It happened again, ladies and gentlemen. But we can see a further description of their nuanced take, because one user would say, I always like the phrase, a hit dog hollers. And she says this, co-signing that logic. Now, of course, I know what people mean when they say a hit dog hollers, but think about that statement. People use it all the time. A dog hollers when it hits. You know, like when Kaya got shot by Hassan, it yelps. You know, like when something bad happens, like getting hit. a person or dog in this case responds, what does that mean? But the way they use it is that if someone says something and you deny it, clearly you're guilty of whatever they're trying to say or accuse you of. And of course, I guess hit dogs holler when you have this sort of response to someone using your own logic against you. And when this user says you got cooked, they say, no, I don't speak to
Nuh-uh,
racist
nuh-uh, nuh-uh, no I didn't, nuh-uh.
pieces of garbage. I win by default, choke, which is a not so subtle way of telling this person to
I thought they were gonna be, I thought they said they were gonna be nice from now on. I thought they were gonna chill out and be nice.
have their life ended, obviously. But of course, their logic makes no sense. I think a lot of their responses are very impulsive on social media. It's like they always want to have the final word on everything, they respond to everything. And this is what happens. You say, I don't speak to racist pieces of garbage. So I guess
She must have known mirrors in the house.
these users are not racist by your own logic because you spoke to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, again, just impulsive posts, make no sense. And of course, she'll be mad about that extension of her own logic because it's stupid. But yeah, that's precisely it. These statements are stupid, and people are just using your logic and your own words against you. And of course, if you don't want to talk to racists, maybe don't talk to yourself because you have this hatred of white people. You can't be racist against them, of course, expected with virtue signalers like this. But of course, you can see another person trying desperately to clarify what's happening and why people are making fun of her and why she's a hypocrite. This user says, he just used your own logic against you. And by your own logic, the fact that you got triggered means you're the problem he's talking about. The fact that this went over your head is the real problem here. And then Vex says, just say you're part of the problem, bro.
Oh, this could have been a learning opportunity for Vex, but I don't think I don't know, they haven't learned in probably since school.
You're the men we're talking about. So we're extending it. Guys, we're actually going beyond the Kafka trap. Okay, it's not just people disagreeing with the generalized statement who are being caught up as part of the problem. It's even people questioning the foundational logic and how it's being applied in ways the original poster didn't want it to, which was a natural extension of their logic. Even doing that, even questioning the foundational logic behind all this, gets you labeled as part of the problem. It's insane. But we're not done. Another user trying to clarify, saying,
So there's a statistic that says all men. All men. If there's a statistic, I doubt it's 100%. So why would you not say 40% or 30% instead of all men? The problem is the use of all.
so it's okay to stereotype. Got it. And then she says, it's a generalization based on statistics. If you're part of the stereotype, then cry.
You make everyone a part of the stereotype when you say all. It's not statistics at that point. You're saying every. She's an idiot. She can't be this, like, she has to be doing this on purpose, right? She can't be this dumb.
You don't see how this could be extended to other groups of people with intrinsic traits they didn't choose, right? Just making generalizations based.
She's racist. That's all it is. She's just racist against white people. That's it. She's just racist.
Based on statistics, and if you have a problem with that, you're part of the problem. Do you not see that's how all of this began in the first place? Like, there is no self-awareness. The lights are on, but nobody's home. Terrible stuff. But then you can see people just pointing out, it's annoying when you generalize. I know you're not talking about me, but it's an obnoxious thing to say. And even someone saying, I get you, but it's just annoying to generalize. It's not good enough. So then she says, then hold the men we are talking about accountable.
So yeah, there you go again. So if you say every black person commits crime, or is like every other minority, they all do this one specific thing, and then she comes out and says, then hold, oh, don't say that, that's bad, and I say, hey, hold them accountable, then hold the ones that are doing the crimes accountable, and I won't say that they all do it. What? How about you just don't generalize and you just say the actual statistics? How many people are actually doing the thing that you're saying instead of saying everyone is?
If it doesn't apply to you, you shouldn't be offended by a blanket statement about someone's gender. Well, yes, you should never be offended about a blanket statement regarding someone's
Why shouldn't you be offended about a blanket statement? You shouldn't be making blanket statements.
gender. Again, keep that in mind, but someone tries to explain again. If it's okay to generalize men based on statistics, I have to assume you think the same of black people, which is really telling about your character.
She should. If she's not a hypocrite, she would.
And she has no response other than saying LOL no. And then the other user says, they are both generalizations that you can make using statistics. And then her response is, bad people are bad people. Pointing out the color of their skin is a you problem. F off and go be racist somewhere else. So she is missing the point entirely, and the user clarifies saying,
She has to
who
be.
said anything about my
She has to
opinions
be
or
like
thoughts?
doing
I
it
sure
on purpose.
didn't. All I did was change the category from men to black, from sex to race. That is all I did. And you still can't comprehend why I did that. It's actually hilarious. Like, you can spell it out. I don't know if she's just that disingenuous.
Yeah,
she
like,
is
right?
intentionally ignoring
She
what
has
people
to
are
be.
trying to do here, or she's just that clueless. She doesn't see it. Either way, it's really embarrassing. And of course, people are now extending it to women, making statements like this, calling all women promiscuous then. And then she says, that's not a nuanced statement, so no.
Correct. That's not a nuanced statement, so she just hates men.
You just hate women at that point, and this user,
She's admitted to hating men, so...
with the steel chair response, says, you are one of them. Yeah, you're part of the problem, I guess.
Boom, you're
Hit
one of the
dogs,
problem.
holler, you know what I mean? Like, this is, again, an extension of her own logic, and she's triggered by it, basically becoming a part of the problem by her own design. It's crazy. And then we see some, what is this, dark woke? Is this the dark woke people talk about, where they can, like, make insults that are normally offensive, but they're doing it wokely? One person says all women are valueless. And she says, I mean, if you feel that way, I'm assuming...
They do that with everything, by the way. If what they think is the right opinion, they can say whatever the hell they want. So long as they're on the right side of history, they'll say it.
Assuming you're gay.
Right side of history, in quotations, by the way.
Which is perfectly acceptable. So basically, this is their woke way of calling this user a homo, but then saying, oh, whoa, 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 it's perfectly okay. Like, we understand what they're doing here, right? They're trying to make this insult, but wokely, while also making sure that everyone knows they're okay with it, while also using it.
She's purposely using it as an insult. She's using gay as an insult, knowing, like, you're trying to upset Frosty. But that's not very woke of you, Vex. It's not very progressive.
As an insult. It's very hypocritical, but then again, she also called someone slow, which again is a woke way of trying to call someone retarded, I guess.
Don't call him retarded.
But then, of course, she's not done. She starts quoting herself and then quoting her quotes to really make sure everyone knows her nuanced take, saying, free block list in the replies here. Saying that I hate men is not the same as being blatantly racist. Choke. So once again, telling people to choke, to presumably lose their life over arguments online. And then they clarify in another post saying, I hate men. Then people ask, why are you dating one? And she says, I'm not talking about my...
She said all men. So you are talking about your man.
My man. I said I hate men, not my man. Oh.
Ooh, what?
Oh, he's one of the good ones, I guess. Did she not understand
He's a
how
good
this
one.
is applied to other groups of
Not my slave. My slave's a good slave.
people based on their intrinsic characteristics they did not choose at birth? Like, it's insane. And again, she's talked about men before, and she's dating a white guy, and let's hope he grants her the confidence of mediocre white men. That's all I can say. But she does the classic thing. Okay, how many times have we seen this, right? You have someone who basically picks a fight with an entire gender, and when they start finding out, they start making themselves the victim. They start intentionally misrepresenting the situation and then post a selfie for engagement and to get validation from strangers online.
She's appealing to the simps. Hoping those simp likes come in.
So they do exactly that. In quote, saying, if you're mad about me saying all blacks are violent, you must be black and violent, end quotes. Not
Chest up photo, by the way.
understanding that this entire situation is just an application of her own logic and she doesn't like the results. And then, of course, she adds on saying, no, I'm not a racist piece of filth.
Yes, you are. You really are.
It's that simple. Of course, given her own history of being racist towards white people, very hypocritical.
That's good.
But then people use the shoe on head meme from one of her
Great
recent
meme. Perfect.
videos, and she has an issue with that because she believes she is not doing the act of prostitution and tells people to shut their dumb behind mouth. And of course, we know that a big part of her content is doing adult content, right?
Some prostitution selling your body. Like, photos didn't exist back whenever prostitution was a thing, like when it first became a thing. But I'd consider selling images of your body to men so that they can trick off to them as prostitution in a way.
Right? Like, that's her primary form of income. That's her main thing. And it seems to be a very sensitive topic for her, where she is constantly promoting it. And
fill them up and me. Come on.
Honestly, diabolical, right? Just promoting it, trying to sell it, and getting 24 likes.
This is probably most likely why she's acting the way she is, being so controversial all the time just to stir up drama and promote her fansly. That's it. She's using it to get views and people to look at her content.
Brutal. But of course, they have a history of mocking people for being broke or unable to afford her adult content.
I would not be surprised if she like findoms people. Like this is prime content for someone who likes findom.
Which is very ironic, and I'll show why in a second, but here's a post from only a year ago saying, the men screaming and crying in my replies about how much my content costs. How does it make you feel knowing you can't afford to even look at me? Oh, what a narcissist. That's actually insane. You didn't make $900 a week at your job, let alone in a day. Is she trying to flex $900 a week? Which is not only cringe and like, what? But also, for someone, if you're familiar with her account, it is a constant series of tweets almost daily asking for money, asking for crowdsourcing, asking for emergency streams, emergency funds. And she says that's based on a lot of her health needs. And if that's even true, okay, fine. You can absolutely ask for money, but then don't go around flexing how much money you have and then poor shaming people who, by the way, are your customers and a lot of the problem men that you're mocking in your tweets. The irony is palpable, biting the hand that feeds, but she's not done with this entire topic. Another post. If you need 15 tweets to explain your nuanced post, maybe it's not nuanced, maybe it's just stupid. But basically, they try to get into this entire breakdown, and you know what? I ain't got time for this. Blah, 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 blah. All you had to say was harmful people bad. But instead, you...
Yeah. Why make it all men? If you're talking about the patriarchy, I don't know. Talk about the patriarchy. Say the patriarchy is bad because it affects everything and it affects men and like how they react. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about, but Don't say all men and then be surprised that men are offended when you say that.
Said all men
Idiot.
and got triggered when people applied your own logic to other categories you didn't want to see happen, right? That's all there is to it. But you know what? Hit dogs holler, as they say. But of course, you can see they don't like people farming drama. Now, of course, they're allowed to farm drama on Twitter and get into controversy every 2 seconds. But of course, they talk about VTubers and content creators who do drama slop reactionary content. And they're mad because they spread misinformation and slander. And you know what? If you have an issue with my video,
I want to put every single VTuber or content creator who does drama slop reactionary content, uses slur, spread misinformation on purpose for clicks, use AI, generally harmful person in a room full of the people they claim to hate. Oh my god, I'd hate to be in a room full of these people. Nothing would happen, but they'd fucking annoy me.
please take it up with yourself because this entire video was just showcasing your own tweets. That's all this entire video was. If you're mad about this coverage, look in the mirror because all I'm doing is showing your own.
This is just one big Uno reverse card. Like, no, you. No, you. And she's like, what? No.
Public
idiot.
tweets. They look bad enough on their own, but they look even.
She understands how bad her opinion is when it's in the lens of something else, but not. I don't.
Worse
She's just,
when you compare them
she has to be stupid.
to other posts that make you
it.
hypocritical. That's like the entire situation. So if you have a problem with my video,
Farming drama for clout is fucking weird. That's literally what she's doing right now. Farming drama for clout and to promote her fansly, her porn.
you should probably look in the mirror because this is all about you. But anyways, that's going to do for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please consider giving the video a like, consider subscribing, and turning on notifications for daily uploads as well as multiple streams a week
good Rev
live
video
here on YouTube. And I'll see you guys next time.
Good video by Rev. I like it. Yeah, she's an idiot.